Good day, coin nerds, fellow coin nerds. All the coin nerds exactly as I am a coin nerd. Joe McBride, coin searcher, and we've got 4 others in here right now. Alright, so what we're going to do today is I've got these circulated rolls of Lincoln cents right here. And I have your names, or the names of the people who are participating, written on these cards. Now this is Adam's card. See the 6 next to his name? No, that's the number of coins he's getting out of this lot. And so I've done that with everyone's name. And so you get that number of coins out of the lot. There's Jeremy's. He gets 6 out of the lot. And so when I draw your name, you're going to get that number of following coins in the bunch. Now, I brought out plenty of flip inserts for the occasion. I brought out enough flip inserts to do all of the coins for today, or flips anyway, not flip inserts. Yeah, a second, let me get my situation here. Okay, so we've got Steve, we've got Eric Beyer, we've got Raymond Longy. Hi guys. I take a look here. Now, I want to show you this real quick. This just gives you an idea of part of the expense that this incurs. These are the flips I'm going to be using today. That's just for today. I got more reveals tomorrow. Just so you understand and know that this stuff just isn't free, and it doesn't come free to me, so we all have to share in the expense of these flips, the inserts, the printing, all of the different things that we do to get this stuff going. Now I'm going to go ahead and open one of my packages of flips. I don't have any inserts built for this yet because I was not sure of the number of inserts that I would require for the different reveals. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create one St. Louis Fed Reserve wrapped bank roll flip insert, and I'm going to put it with everyone's coins. I'm going to unwrap the rubber band here. I'm going to take one of my rolls, put my nifty pad out here, and get ready to rumble. There's that. Of course I have to find a bag. Why would I bring a bag out here with me, right? All right, there we go. The Florida Hoard. I have no idea where this came from. I just happened to have it. So it evidently was 1,000 bags of pennies. So let's see here. And make sure I've got the right one. This is, let's see, this right here is going to be where we draw from. For today. There we go. I got us a bag that's been rolled down just right. Got all my names inside the bag. Get them all shaked up really well. Shook up really well. Chuck learned to speak English. Get them all shook up really well. Now I need to figure out which bag am I doing right now. Let me go back to my images and take a look here real quick. I've got a bag sitting right next to me, but Murphy's Law is telling me that it's probably the wrong bag, that I need to... I'm not doing a bag right now. I'm doing these 2 rolls. I need to start thinking. My brain cap is not working. All right, here we go. Now that we're ready, I have already washed my hands very well to get us out of the idea of me putting any additional fingerprints on these coins. Who knows what's on them now? These wrappers are not marked. They're simply penny wrappers. And so I saw no need to raffle a wrapper that is simply a 1974 style design, or 1970s style design. Let's see what we can do here. There we go. I've got it open. And so, it's not going to work alphabetically like I've done in the past, because that's unfair to the people at the end of the alphabet. So the way it's going to work, I'll roll this up over the coins. There we go. Pull my wrapper off, and we have what appears to be 50 copper uncirculated, or 50 copper circulated pennies. And I'm going to draw a name. And when I draw a name, that person will get their coins off the end of the roll. First one is J.O.B. J.O.B. gets 6 coins off the roll. Let's take a look and see what we get. Here's the first coin. Let me get this out of the way here. Here's the first coin. 1971 Denver. 1971 Denver. We'd be looking for repunchment marks. And I don't see any. We'd be looking for double dies above and below the 7 of the date. And above and below the L of Liberty. And I don't see anything there. Okay, next thing I'd be looking for would be minor doubling inside In God We Trust. And I don't see anything remarkable here. So check this for the flip. It is not a rotated die. I just keep looking here and see if we see anything remarkable come out of this. So far, I'm not seeing anything. All right, so there's J.O.B.'s first coin. Coin number 2 for J.O.B. is this one right here. What is that? 1970 Denver. 1970 D. We don't have an RPM. It doesn't appear to be a double die around the date. Now what we would be looking for up here in God We Trust is for the letters to be extra thick, as they would be parallel to the curve of the rim. So the sides of the G, the sides of the O, the sides of the D, the up and down stick on the E, the up and down on the T, R. And I just don't see anything there. We're looking for class 5 or class 1 doubling. That's what most of them are. And I see nothing there. Let's take a look at the reverse. Of course, these coins are in pretty decent shape for early 70s coins, but that's because it's my summation from having looked at a few of the other rolls in this bag that these were wrapped in 1974. So there's J.O.B.'s second coin. There's J.O.B.'s third shot at getting something nice. 1962 Denver. 1962D is known for having a number of repunchment marks, some of them rather minor. It's also known for the possibility of having doubled eyelids. I'm not seeing anything on that side. Let's take a look at the reverse, because the reverses on 1962D are known for having some double dies. They would mostly be class 2 double dies that would have separation toward the rim. And I'm not seeing anything here. So we have nothing. That's J.O.B.'s third coin. Now his fourth coin, this one's a little shinier. 1972 Philadelphia. And this one is not a double die obverse. What's good here is that this one is also not the master die doubling. If it were the master die doubling, we could almost immediately write off a double die obverse, but this one is not the master die doubling. Let's look at the reverse real quick. There are no known double die reverses for 1972 Philadelphia that I'm aware, but we're still checking just to be sure one way or the other, because, well, it's free. And we have it sitting in front of us. Okay, that's coin number 4 out of this roll. Coin number 5 will turn out to be, it looks like one from the 60s. Yep, another 1962 Denver. And this 1962D looks like it might be a very minor repunchment mark with a lower split serif, but it's been crushed by circulation wear. And on the flip, it's straight up and down. I am checking these. When I flip them, I'm checking them for rotated reverses, which is why I made mention of it, actually. Jason Patton. Hello. Got Bulldog Eddie Jams. Adam Chambers. All right. Sixth and last coin for GOB is a 1971 Denver. It still has some red uncirculated appeal to it. This one could actually be an RPM. Is there some chance? Let me turn this on around this way. No, I'm guessing not. I thought I saw something. Thought I saw something at first. Let's take a better look here. How do you know? I'm thinking we might just have an RPM in our midst. Check this up real quickly for machine doubling. It does not appear to be machine doubling. I do believe this is an RPM. So it looks like JLB is going to get an RPM out of this. So he's got 6 coins. All 6 coins going to go into flips with his name in the first one. Anything that turns out to be a die variety in this is going to get its own flip and its own insert. Any of the other coins that just turned out to be normal coins, they're going to be paired together by the 2. So this one that was the RPM, it's going to go off by itself. And I'm going to have to go back through these. Of course, I could make myself a note. JOB 71D RPM, coin number 6. All right. So, next name out of the bag, Eric Beyer. Eric Beyer gets his 6 coins, and here is the first one. Wow, what do we have here? It's a 1973 Denver. So it has a hit right on the mint mark. We're going to have to back off of this. I cannot do coin inspection at the molecular level, I am sorry to say. Yeah, I saw someone who was using a 1,000 power microscope to view coins. What are you trying to do? Find the speck of silver? That was kind of funny. Somebody else talking about using a 200 power. Folks, you don't need any more than 10 to 15 power unless you're doing some high class looking up things. All right, done with the obverse. There's nothing going on there, and there's no known double die reverses for 1973 Lincoln Cents. I have recently had to use the initials there to identify other rolls that were tails rolls, because you can see the top of the F of the initials is even with the base, the top of the base of the memorial building. This is the only year that has a reverse like that with the giant FG. Yeah, I mean, the loop works, and it works fine. But doing something like this where I'm trying to share it makes it a whole lot more difficult trying to use a loop and a camera or anything to that effect as to just using a digital microscope. I generally do not use a digital microscope. I generally use my regular dual light guide fiber optic infinite zoom stereo microscope. Sounds like some kind of something that the kid in A Christmas Story would be telling you about what he wants for Christmas. But this is actually a pretty nice microscope that I have. It does its job, that's for sure. Well, it looks like we might have a 74. I do believe, yep, we have a large date 1974D. So this would be the year I believe these were wrapped. You see how thick and fat everything looks there. That's normal for the 1974 Denver. What you're looking for on 74D, and for being an unusual coin, would be a split in the lower part of the R of trust. There are a couple of double dies known for that. The reverse, so the reverse on this coin appears clean, as it does for most 1974D Lincoln cents. I've never seen a double die reverse on a 1974D. So Eric's fourth coin, this one appears that it's going to be in the 60s. Yep, 1969 Denver. Does have a little bit of a woody appearance to it. So if you've been looking for a woody for a 1969D, you got one here. Looks like a nicely stained piece of walnut. Look at the reverse here. See what we have. Our woody does continue through to the reverse. You can see the straight lines. Medication again. I yawn all day long. This one's a 74. I can tell that just by peeking at the coin. I can't read the date, but I can see the design, and I just know it's a 74. One of the ways I know this is a 74 is the the way the relief shines back at me. Unlike any other year of Lincoln cent is the large date 1974. Hello, Shannon. Just stopping in for a minute and you're at lunch. I hope you have a good lunch. I haven't had mine yet. Might be able to get to it after I get finished with the reveal here. But we are doing 100 coins. And next coin up is the last one for Mr. Buyer. It's another 1973 Denver. Well, since we happen to have a 73 and a 74 right next to each other, I'll go ahead and put them next to each other and we can compare the initials. Take a look at the size of the initials. There you go. 1974 on top, 1973 on bottom. You can see how much larger those 1973 initials are than the 1974 initials. So that'll give you a good idea. And the 72 initials are even smaller than the 74s. So you go from small indistinct initials to huge, gigantic initials back to large initials that are a little more distinct. And that's what that looks like. And Eric Buyer has 6 coins now out of this lot. Put his coins in there with the name in the first one. I'm going to be making a flip insert for these this afternoon. I'll get that in there with them today. These coins are going to mail out over the weekend after I get a chance to get everything together with these. All right, there's that. Draw the next name out of the bag. Next name out of the bag is going to be Bulldog. Bulldog will get his 5 coins now. Here's coin number 1 for Bulldog. It's one in the 60s. That's a 60D. Has some dirty stuff around the mint mark. A little hard to tell what it is right now, but it is not a large over or small over large date. It is also not one of the major visible RPMs for 1960D. I'll have to give this one a better... Oof, man, that thing is just nasty. So coins were damaged in the 70s too, huh? Wow, this one is kind of eaten up bad. Yeah. Let's toss this one aside and see if we can't do a little bit better with another coin here. What's this one? It's a 1970D. Not seeing any hub doubling here. Hey Starbuck, how you doing today? I'm doing pretty well. It's turned out to be a decent day so far. Hey, we have nothing on the obverse on that one. Let's check the reverse. See what we turn up with on the reverse. And we've got nothing there either. That's 2 out of 5. Here's number 3. This one's nice and shiny. It looks like it's probably a 74. It is a 74. So that's a 1974D. All of the known double die obverses on 1974 are on the small date. This is a large date. You can tell the large date just by looking at it, in that the inner curve, the inner part of the 9 is curved, it's rounded. And the 9 and 7 are really thick, and the upper corner of the 7 is very indistinct. It's very difficult to make it out, and if you do make it out, it turns out to be more rounded than squared. The small date is a completely different animal. It has much thinner date characteristics. See how the trust here nearly touches the rim? It's going to be a little farther from the rim on a small date. You can get to know these by looking at a number of them, of course, but you can get to know them, and once you do know them, it's a interesting little trick that you can play. Dump out a tube full of 1974 Lincolns and pick the small dates from the large dates without even using a loop. Because once you get used to the design, you get used to the fact that 1974 actually has a dish in the relief, and 1974, the large date, has a dish in the relief, and the 74 small date does not. The 1974 small date's more or less completely flat. So you can open a tube that has both in it and separate the coins without even using a loop. I've been doing it that way for years. In fact, if I didn't do it that way, I would probably be spending a lot of time on it. Okay, so here's a 72D. 72D is known for double die obverse and double die reverse, so we'll take a good close look at it. There's no double die obverse on this coin. Well, let's flip it over and take a look at the reverse. And on the reverse, we have no double die. So that's 5 coins for Bulldog, but this 1960D is exceptionally bad. We're going to pull another coin for Bulldog, and I'll do that for anyone else that pops along here. We end up getting a really trash damaged coin. I'll pull it out and we'll just keep going. I'll be opening a third roll here to compensate for the coins that I'm tossing out in this one, but I don't want anyone to turn up with a coin that's worth nothing more than spending value. If I can help it, by way of damage or other anomalous features that are ridiculous. So, Bulldog gets 5 coins, and the 5 coins Bulldog got all have just a little bit of red on them, and I like that. Nice to have a little bit of red on your circulated coins. There's one holder. And there's 2. And 3 holders, 5 coins. And Bulldog will go in the stack. And I will pull for the next person. Mr. Dowdle, your name hasn't come out. Well, it just now did. Your name just now came out of the bag. And you're going to get your 5 coins in this reveal right now. So just in case you happen to be at lunch, here we go. 1971D. Looking for a double die obverse above the date or around the date. Looking for RPM. Looking for double die obverse in the letters of In God We Trust. See nothing yet. Looking for anything showing anything other than normal on the reverse. A nice little die crack right there. Other than that, we have nothing on this 1971D. Let's take a look at the next coin. The next coin is going to turn out to be, this is a nasty. This is a coin nasty. The coin nasty goes off to the side if it's not anything that I can do anything with. It has a bunch of wax on it. That's basically what it is. All of this would come off with some xylene, but it would probably stain the coin. This is kind of heavily coated in some areas with this wax. So we're going to toss this one off to the side and do the same thing we did for Bulldog. We're going to pull another coin for Mr. Dowdle's second coin. This one's from the 1960s, I can tell by looking at it. It's a 1968S. 1968S is known for having double die obverses. Don't know of any double die reverse on the 68S. Certainly doesn't keep us from looking. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick. See what we have. Pretty normal. But it is a 1968S. That is a circulated S-mint from one of the last years they actually made S-mints for circulation. That happened up until 1974. And then from 75 on, only Philadelphia and Denver made coins made Lincoln cents for circulation. Officially. If they made any in San Francisco, they didn't put any mint marks on them so that you'd know about them. Okay, here's Mr. Dowdle's fourth coin. Hey, there's a 1955 Denver. It's a wheat cent. We got a wheat cent. I don't see anything special about it, but it is a wheat cent. Let's flip it over, take a look at the reverse, which is aligned properly. Okay. That's coin number 4 for Mr. Dowdle. We got our first wheat cent out of the roll. And number 5 will be a 1964 Philadelphia Lincoln cent. Let's take a look at what we end up with. Nothing going on that side. With these circulated coins, you tend to have to look a little bit harder to see doubling, simply because it's not bright red, it's not sharp, it's not easy to see. So you kind of have to dig a little bit to take a look at them. So we got 5 coins for Mr. Dowdle, and they all turned out to be pretty much normal coins. We have a 1955 D wheat cent for Mr. Dowdle. And get these in 3 flips. Mr. Dowdle's name in the front so that we'll know where everything is. Oops. And time to move on. There you go, Mr. Dowdle. That's what you got, brother. Next one will be Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher will get 6 coins. So here's Mr. Fletcher's first coin. It's 1968 Denver. You see how these how these letters are actually connected to the rim? This is pretty normal for 1968. And in fact, it is the reason why they changed the design in 1969 to lessen the relief and pull those letters away from the rim. Let's see if we have anything going on in the reverse. And it appears that we do not. So I move on to coin number 2 for Mr. Fletcher. This one's a 62D. Not seeing anything on the obverse. The obverse and reverse are aligned properly together. Now what I mean by properly is that the reverse and the obverse on a coin turn, when you flip the coin over, are less than 10 to 15 degrees off of being exact straight up and down. So in other words, when I flip them over, it's not noticeable at all if they are not perfect. And that's acceptable to the mint. What's unacceptable is once a coin gets to be 30 to 40 degrees off of straight up and down from the obverse to the reverse, and the coin flip rotation of the reverse die compared to the obverse die is very noticeable. We have another 55D. How about that? A second 1955 D Lincoln in this roll. That's our second wheat cent in this roll. I've been finding them on an average. I went through 3 rolls. I found 12 wheat cents. I think I found 6 in one roll. And then 6, 2, and 4, I think it was. This was back when you could go through... Oh, sorry. This is back when you could go through a bag of pennies and you could find a few rolls of wheat pennies inside of a bag. This is right about the time I started in Lincoln Cents. I started in coin collecting in 1975. Started going through rolls. By 1979, I was going through rolls. Checking the top of that T. Yeah, it is damage. That is not a double die. Got nothing on that side. Got nothing over here. So that's 5 out of 6 for Jim Fletcher. Let's get his 6th coin out. Ooh, this one's nice and shiny. It's a shiny 1973. You'll notice that we're getting Philadelphia and Denver mint coins out of here because of the distribution of coins across the United States from the mints, and the fact that St. Louis is right on one of the major interstates, 70, going all the way across the United States. And back in those days, it was also along Route 66, And it was also along Route 40 and Route 50. There were a bunch of different ways of getting through the United States that met in St. Louis. So you've got a city that's in the center of the United States. You've got the distribution of Lincoln cents, or distribution of all coins from the mints, basically bordering along the Mississippi River, which St. Louis is right on the Mississippi River. So you've got Denver mint coins coming from Chicago, coming from Kansas City, coming from other places like that. And you've got Philadelphia mint coins coming from places like Nashville and Paducah and Indianapolis. And so this is a good melting pot for different mints. How old was I in 1979? Thank you, sir. 1979, I was 11 years old. By then, I was ready to write my first book because, well, I couldn't find a book that told me what I wanted it to say. Couldn't find anything that could explain why I was finding RPMs and double dies that were not listed in the guides that were out at the time. And the reason for that is because, well, they weren't showing all of them. All right, Midnight Silver Run gets to the next 6 coins. Midnight Silver Run. Midnight Silver Run's first coin out will be a 1962 Denver. So I'm going to go with a nothing on the mint mark. Let's take a look at the rest of the coin. I was born before Woodstock, Starbuck. By the time America's bicentennial came around, I was out fishing. All right, there's Midnight's first coin, 1962 Denver. His second coin's going to be a 1965. We can't ever tell on the 1965, 66, and 67 Lincoln cents where they were minted. We have no idea unless we happen to get... And this was something that I was actually thinking about doing at one time till I figured out that nobody would really care. But I was thinking about getting original bank-wrapped rolls from San Francisco and from the Denver, Colorado area, or from like Colorado Springs or something like that, and then getting original bank-wrapped rolls from Philadelphia. That way, if I open an original bank-wrapped roll from the Fed Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, it's very likely going to be a Philadelphia mint roll. So if I go through and I could make note of all of the markers on all the different dies from that particular roll, then we could start a guide to figuring out which mint your 1965, 66, and 67 coins came from. But I quickly figured out that because they no longer used a dozen die pairs, they were using die pairs into the hundreds by then, that it would be very fruitless to even attempt to figure out the distribution of mintage from the 3 mints. I'm relatively certain that they minted 1965, 66, and 67 Lincolns in San Francisco. Relatively. We're still on Midnight Silver Runs coins here. We've got a 1972D to look closely at. We are indeed on a treasure hunt. We have no idea what the date on the next coin is going to be, but we do have some sort of, let's call it a trend. A trend in that they all date prior to 1975. I'm pretty sure this bag was wrapped in 74. And most of the coins are in the 60s and early 70s. Here's Midnight's 5th coin. It's 1968D. And they're in relatively good condition. They're going to be in pretty nice condition considering any of these coins that we find in our rolls today have had a good 35 years, 36 years to absorb. Is it 30? No, it's 46 years. Holy moly. It's 46 years. These coins have sat in these rolls. Assuming a normal run on dies, a pair of Lincoln cent dies can mint anywhere between 200 and 500,000 coins. We have some nasty on this one. Since this coin is damaged, let's see, we may actually have an RPM on this one. I'm thinking we probably have an RPM. Maybe have an RPM. Let's take a good close look at it. Get some light on the subject. Let's turn it around so we can see that left leg in the light. Alright, here. Not an RPM. This is not an RPM because you only see one actual serif. The other one is where the coin is actually scooted just a little bit, creating a slight bit of machine doubling on the mint mark. This is rather common, but I wanted to see what we had for sure, not make any assumptions one way or another. So what we will do with this one, because it doesn't appear to be anything on the obverse, we'll check it on the reverse real quick and make sure that it isn't anything special on the reverse. And we're going to swap this coin out for another one because it's damaged heavily on the obverse. Okay, nothing worth mentioning on that side. This will go in the copper pile, and this will be Midnight Silver Run's 6th coin. What is this? It's 1960 Denver. Not seeing anything special in the mint mark area on this one. Looks like he's got a piece of yarn dangling out of his mouth. It happens to be some light circulation damage. Probably somebody's keys in their pocket scratched up against the coin at one time or another. Yeah, just remember, just think about this as we're going through these coins. This is the amazing thing about doing roll hunts. These coins have not seen the light of day since the Vietnam War. Think about that. These coins have not seen the light of day since before the American Bicentennial. When these coins were wrapped, I was 6. 6 years old. See, you just have to kind of put things into context in your head when you're thinking about it. Is that these coins have been in this position, in these rolls, for a long time. All right, let me grab another name here. Next name's going to be Paul Hampton. Paul Hampton will get 6 coins. Here's his first one. It is a 72D. And a 72D with this one does have the master die doubling. You can see the doubling on the side of the U of trust. You can see that the tops of the T's are recut. They look like little sticks sitting on top of little pedestals. The left side of the E is doubled. And the N is completely re-engraved. The top of the B in Liberty is going to be all bubulous and weird looking. And so this coin belongs to the later generation of 1972 Lincoln cents, where the master die had been re-engraved or recut, and evidently whatever problem they had been having with continually coming out with doubled dies had ended by this period, because none of the major doubled dies listed for 1972, none, for the Denver or Philadelphia or Denver Mint were made using this master. Well, here's a nice 1974 D. Sorry. This is a 1974 D large date. Large date's the only thing that I have seen so far for the 1974. And it was the first design used in 1974. They didn't change to the small date until mid-year. So that tells me that this particular coin was minted early in 1974. It also tells me these rolls were probably wrapped up in early 1974 before the small dates came out. That's Paul Hempton's second coin. Let's take a look at his third coin. This one appears to be a 69 through 71. Nope, 73. There's a 73. Denver. There's a really nice repunch mint mark known for 73D, where about half of a D is hanging out of the bottom of the primary D. I've only found one or two of these ever, which means if we find one today, it's going to be a pretty big deal. Alright, got nothing on that coin. Let's check coin number 4 for Paul Hempton. It's another shiny one. This is a 73D. 73 and 74D are going to be what most of these coins are going to turn out to be, because St. Louis is in the Denver Mint distribution district, which means that they get more coins from Denver than from San Francisco. I'm sorry, than from Philadelphia. So most of your new coins out of St. Louis, I'll get it right here before too long. Most of your new coins out of St. Louis from this era are going to be Denver Mint coins. But as I was stating earlier, because of its very close proximity to the Philadelphia Mint District, they would do special orders on bags and get bags in from the Philadelphia Mint, and or circulation would simply bring rolls and bags closer to St. Louis as time went on, because Indianapolis was in the Philadelphia Mint District. The FG is very large on 1973. It's the only year where the FG initials are actually level with the top of the base of the memorial. It's the only year. 1974 initials are probably half this size. We can actually take a look at 74 next to 73 here real quick. Nope, that's another 73. That was another 73. This is a 74. There we go. There's a size comparison of the initials together. 74 initials are about half the size of the 73 initials, and the 72 initials are even smaller than the 74s. So you go from really small and indistinct initials to huge giant initials, back to smaller yet distinct initials, all in 3 years. So 1973 is a 1 year reverse type. 1 year reverse type, meaning that was the only year which that particular design was used. So there's Paul Hempton, 5 out of 6. Here is Paul Hempton's 6th coin. I'm going to have to work to get this back in focus. And we're looking at another 73D, but this one appears that it could actually be one of the more minor RPMs. This one has a little hook coming out of the bottom of the mint mark. I want to see if it's dirt or if it's actually part of the metal. It appears that it could be part of the metal. That looks like it might be another mint mark right there. You have a little curve coming out of the bottom right of the D, and you have a little straight line coming out of the bottom left of the D. It looks like the right spacing for another D. I'll have to get a much better look at this one later on with my other scope. So for Paul Hampton, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put his 5 coins in flips together. Merely for shipping. Flips are, I'm not using these for display of your coins. I'm using them to get them to you. So I'm using the minimal amount required to get the coins to you. And then his 73D that appears it could be a repunch mint mark, I'll put in its own separate flip. Stonecutter, I appreciate it. I'll see you later, brother. Next name out of the hat will be Shannon McCord. Shannon gets 6 coins. And here's number 1. What do we have here? We have a 73D, which appears to be very huge, but we're going to knock it down and make it a little bit smaller so that we can actually see everything without having to back our eyes away. There we go. Taking a good look through this 1973D Lincoln Cent for Shannon McCord. Those real tall initials again. Got nothing on that coin. Let's take a look at his next coin. It's going to get 6 of them all together. So this is the second one, 1969D. We're actually looking for some minor double die obverses on 1969D. 1969 is a very unfortunate year for most of the double dies and repunch mint marks because the 1969S double die tends to completely overshadow everything else that came out that year. There were actually some pretty decent little repunchment marks and double dies. They weren't major, but they were pretty decent. That came out in 1969. This one happens to not be any of that. Here's coin number 3 for Shannon. That dirt on there is from a counting wheel. That's what it looks like when you get a spinning counting wheel, rubber counting wheel, and it gets caught on the coin. Bits of dirt tend to gang pile up along the edges of the devices. Okay, we got a normal 1962D. Coin number 4 for Shannon. Another 69D. Not seeing anything here so far. And coin number 5 is a Canadian cent, looks like. Canadian, I'm going to guess that this one's going to be a 1971 or a 72. $69. And of course these have a coin turn, so when I flip it over like I do an American coin, the reverse is going to be upside down. Didn't mean to do it that way. It just happened to work out that way. Alright. So I don't see anything special on that particular coin. So we have 5 out of 6 for Shannon done. Here's number 6. Coin number 6 in this particular pull is a 72D. 72D has stopped me in my tracks because I like 72D. 72D tends to come up with double dies a little more often than some other issues. Not seeing anything on this particular coin though. Let me flip it over and take a look at the reverse. Got nothing on this part of the reverse. So that'll be 6 coins for Shannon McCord. We got 1 coin sitting out, so I'm going to have to open another roll. Oh, we got, what, 2 wheat and 1 Canadian out of that particular roll. 2 wheat and 1 Canadian. We got 2 RPMs. No doubled dies. I hope Shannon likes Canadian cents. Some people collect them, I know. I do not. I get the second roll open here. And when I pick at this, I'm only picking at the paper. I'm not picking at coins. And sometimes the paper just comes apart. Sometimes it folds out, sometimes it won't. Was that done? And get this other side here. Okay. And here we go. There's that roll opened up. Got some decent, nice, shiny coins in there. Let's go ahead and draw another name and see who gets the first ones out of this roll. Now, of course, Farm Dog is going to get 1 coin out of the previous roll and 5 coins out of the new roll. This is the 1 coin off the end of the previous roll. It's 1964 Philadelphia. This side was exposed, so this is the side that got the Circle of Death in the form of some small scrapes on the 6 and 4, a scrape on the shoulder, and probably one near the top of the head somewhere, actually on the T. This is more or less expected with the first and last coins in rolls. Farm Dog's second coin here, a 1972D. I like 72D. Oop. There's a Circle of Death from a previous rolling. Remember, these are circulated rolls, so we could expect just about anything in these. Nothing there. This one's shiny. Looks like it's a 74. That is a 1974D, and it is a large date. 1974 large date. Now imagine these coins were probably minted and put in rolls and then put in these rolls before the world could ever have known about 1974 small date Lincoln cents. See if you can grasp that for a little while. That's 3 out of 5 for Farm Dog. Here's number 4. It's a 73D. Try and check it out for a double die or anything to that effect. Good afternoon, Majestic. Hey, look at that. Nice big old splitting headache there. Looks like the die is about to split all the way through the middle at some point. That's kind of cool. A spiked head. Alright, let's see the reverse. Of course, we're going to have our super huge FG. For all the years I've been searching coins since I have known that 1973 was a one-year type, I've been searching 72, 73, and 74 Lincolns on the reverse to see if I can find a mismatched reverse. To date, I have not found one. To date, nobody that I know of has found one. Even the person who discovered that the date sizes were actually different, Tom DeLory from Chicago, discovered this back in 1974 or 75. He kept it quiet for a long time, looking to see if he could find any mismatched reverses, and just simply didn't do it. Don't think they exist. That's a strong statement, but having been through as many coins as I've been through, and having been through as many 1974, 73, and 74 coins as a number of the people I know have been through, and nobody has found one. Yeah. I do what? I don't call anybody that. That's mean. Why would I call anyone that? Of course, if I tell her to prove it, she probably will. Let's see what we got here. Raymond Longy. Mr. Longy gets his 5 coins now. There's the first one. It's 1970 Denver. Not seeing anything special yet. I do have a couple of double die. Oh, there's a spiked head going on there. I do have a minor double die obverse to check for. That one will show up in the motto. Nothing known on the reverse of 1970 Denver. Look at all those die cracks along the columns. Probably got some over here too. Only on column 1. But you got them on column 10, 11, and 12, and you got a little bird's nest on column 9. So you got die breaks on column 9, 10, 11, and 12. There's little die cracks. Just interesting looking things. Mr. Longy's second coin turns out to be another 1970 Denver. Still no 70D double die yet. 70D. That's hard to say, 70D. And this one shows us nothing special. Let's try the next coin in the roll. Here's a 72D. This one's got that little thing going on the top of the mint mark. You can see a little split in the serif there. And that has been written off as a damaged mint mark punch. Or I'm not really sure I see how it could be damaged mint mark punch, but that's what the powers that be away from Coppercoins say. I've decided to follow suit because I simply don't know for sure. This one does have a slightly off reverse, but it's only about 10-15 degrees. Now do a little experiment here. See how well this works. I have another piece of board here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up one of the straight lines on the reverse with my 2 boards. Now see, it looks just like this. Straight line. Now I'm going to flip the coin over. And we'll be able to see how far off it is. There's my straight line. That's not off by much at all. Only about 5 degrees or so. I thought it would be more impressive. It appeared that it was going to be more impressive. I'll check this again, make sure I don't have a double die on there I skipped. No. So that's 3 out of 5. Here's coin number 4 for Raymond Longy. It's going to be a 1968 Denver. 1968. That's my birth year. '68 Denver carries a very, very nice double die reverse. A number of decent double die obverses, a couple of nice repunch mint marks. '68 Denver is probably one of the best variety years out of late 60s. Actually, it is the best variety issue out of the late 60s. All right, here's Robert Longy's 5th and final coin for today's draw. It is a 1971 Denver. It's in pretty decent condition, although circulated. Let's see here. And I see nothing special about this particular coin right now. So I'll go ahead and stick Robert Raymond. I'll stick Raymond's name in here. Change the 68 around. You have your birth year. Are we trying to say you were born in 86? That's the year I graduated high school. That's the year I went into the military. And people say I look young. All right, next person out of the bag is Steve Patet. Steve Patet will get a nice 1973 Denver Lincoln cent. Just an entertaining with a chance of getting something really good, but mostly for the entertainment value is what we do this for. We're not necessarily in this trying to get rich, because I don't think anyone is going to. Oop, there's a wheat cent. I see the wheat. Oh, what's the date? A 47D. There's a 1947D with a concave chin. Well, it would be a nice coin. Paul, you have a kid born in 86? I could have. I was busy graduating high school, though. My firstborn wasn't until 96. I waited till 10 years out of high school. Got nothing, boys and girls. 1947D from Mr. Patet so far. And this one's an ugly coin. Well, it's an ugly coin, but it is a repunch mint mark. I'll see what I can do with this one to make it any better. Gotta get some of that rough stuff off of it, see if it comes off. I try to soak it off with some mineral oil. It's a nice looking reverse. And a little RPM on the obverse. That'd make it a $5, $10 coin if it were in nice shape. Because I mean, we can see that it's mostly red, which means it's an uncirculated coin. Yeah, it's an uncirculated coin. But you can see that split in the lower serif, and you can see how the upper serif looks like it's almost split. And that's going to constitute a repunch mint mark for you. Let's see if I can just get a little bit of mineral oil on the coin and see if that helps. I hate it when this happens. Let's see how stuck to the coin this stuff is. Just a little bit of mineral oil on the coin just to see if we can kind of dust off the ick. That's all we're trying to do. Mineral oil is inert, does not hurt the coin at all. And it's good for taking little bits of dirt and dust off of the coins. That's a little bit better. You can see the RPM now. It's a little bit better. I will be trying to work with this coin a little bit more for you, sir. But we have a minor repunch mint mark going on there. And that's going out to Mr. Patat. All right. That's coin number 4 of 5. And here will be 5 of 5. 5 of 5 is a 1969D. 1969D. Known for a couple of RPMs. A couple of minor double die obverses. This is none of the above. Nothing known on the reverse side of 1969D, but that doesn't stop us from looking. Up until they start charging us for it, right? Okay, so what we're going to do here is Mr. Patat's coins are going to go into 3 holders, and one of them is going to be with the RPM alone by itself. I got a 1947D wheat cent that's going to go in with his 1973 from the very beginning of the hunt. And we'll just keep going down the line till we get to a point where I'm all cleaned up, ready to draw another name. How's that sound? How you like them apples? All right, here we go. Next on the list, Joe McBride, 5 coins. There's coin number 1 for Joe McBride. It is a 1971 Philadelphia Lincoln cent. It appears to be normal. And it is. On the obverse, let's check the reverse real quick. Because it's attached to the obverse and it's free. That's right. You pay for the obverse side of these coins. The reverse is free. If you want me to ship you your free part, just let me know. I'll keep the obverse here. All right, that's Joe's number 1 out of 5 coins. Here's Joe's number 2 out of 5 coins. It is a wheat cent. Another wheat cent. It's a 1958D. A little dirty, but there's no damage on it. It's pretty nice. All right. That's coin number 2. Here's coin number 3 of 5. Number 3 of 5 is a 1962D. Be interesting going through all the coins in this roll just to see what we come out with. See what the distribution quality looked like in 1974 when this bag was wrapped up. No doubling in the pillars. Any of the doubling that you think you're seeing in the pillars is just a part of the design. That right there, that's just a part of the design. That just part of the design. That inside column 12, another part of the design. That's number 3 out of 5 for Joe McBride. Let's take a look at number 4. 63D. Does not appear that we have the double die. Nothing on that side. Let's take a look at the other side and see what we come out with. Nothing there. Coin number 5. Number 505 is a 71D. So Jessica was PP. Now she's JJ. Can't get away from it, can you? Alright, there's 5 coins for Joe McBride. Unfortunately, we didn't squeeze anything good out of this one. Oh, other than a wheat cent. But wheat cents aren't worth 50 cents, so most of them anyway. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. My luck's been pretty good with rolls lately. In fact, it's been very good with rolls lately. And it's always interesting going through these circulated rolls. Color PJ. Wild Bill. Here's Wild Bill's first coin. 1970 Denver. Let me wake a Wild Bill up. This might ping on Wild Bill and tell him we found him a 72 DDO number 1. He'll be over here real quick. Here's his second coin. 1974D. Again, a large date. Nothing of note on that side, and the flip was a normal flip. Here's coin number 3 for Wild Bill. 1968 Philly. 1968 Philly is known for having a nice double die obverse that shows in Liberty. I don't see it though. It's not there. Nothing known on the reverse for 1968 Philadelphia, but that doesn't keep us from looking. And if you're really looking to become an expert in coins, take your time with it. You can't be an expert overnight. You can't possibly know what you're doing in a very short period of time. Yeah, PJ Curtis comes in here, so that doesn't work. I've even seen PJ Hampton in here once or twice. All right, here's Wild Bill's last coin for the roll. 68 Denver. This one could hold some promise. I hold my breath to look at the reverse side, as I always am on 1968D. Nope. Not the big double die. The big double die come out and bite you in the hand. So it's kind of obvious when you look at it what you've got. It's about the only coin I ever had that I regret selling. I had one. Found it in a roll. I think I sold it for 75 bucks. Wish I hadn't done that. Next out of the bag is gonna be Adam Chambers for 6 coins. Here's Adam's first. It's a 71D. It's got Circle of Death on it. Gosh, how many coins do we have to go through in one roll with the Circle of Death? I think I'll just replace this coin. It's nothing special, so I'm going to replace it because of that huge bit of damage it's got going on there. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick. I'll set this off to the side for the copper pile, and Adam will get this as his first coin. What is it, 1974 Denver? It is a large date. These almost look like double dies until you realize that pretty much all of them look this way. It's kind of like that 9 in the 2019 Lincolns. Not a double die, not in and of itself. It's master die issue, I'm guessing. It could be even larger than that because every one of them issued so far has it, or is known to have it. Alright, here's coin number 2, 73 plain. There are nice double die. There is at least one nice double die in 1973 Philadelphia Mint issues. There was once a person who decided they wanted all of them. Ended up getting 2 or 3 bags of 73 Philadelphia. Got a number of the double dies in there, offered to buy others, bought others, and ended up with a few hundred of them. All that did was prove that they weren't market worthy because there were too many of them out there. This, I believe, was a 1972 because of the size and shape and weakness of the FG. It's normal for 72. This could be a 71, but I believe it's a 72. It is a 72. 72 Denver. I got that one right on the nose. Alright, that's coin number 3 out of 6. Let me flip this one over. And we'll look at the reverse first. This is a 74. Couple of different things tell me what. The initials are really close to the date. The F is very wide and they're short. They're shorter than the 73 would be. So this is going to be a 74. 75 coin I wouldn't even flip over. Those are poison. And 74 Denver. I just don't like 75. That's all. Coin number 5. Let's flip it over and look at the reverse side first. This is going to be a 72. You see how it's between this and a 74, there's a pretty big difference. 72 has that curved crossbar to the A. It has a curved top to the T and the E of cent. It's definitely a 1972. Let's flip it over and take a look. And a 72 it is. Let's see if this happens to be one of the double dies. And it is not one of the double dies. I can already tell because that die gouge in the upper part of the S of trust is part of the master die doubling. Master die doubling equals no double die. And there's your re-engraved N of in. So, we got a thought shot turned to nothing. That's coin number 5 out of 6. Let me take a look at the reverse of this next one and see if I can pull the year on this. This one's got a straight bar in the center of the A. It's got smaller initials. Top of the E is curved, so I'm going to say it's a 71. This is a 70 or 71. Oh, was I off? It's a 63. It can be a little harder to tell. But this one is nothing. So we've got 6 coins here. We've got Adam's 6 coins done. Oh, come on. I had it working so well. How to put multiple coins in the same flip. You do it like this, and then you tamp it down, and you make sure you've got it in the very corner. Then you put your next coin in, up above it, and just let it fall in. And there it is, 2 coins in one flip. And that's how that works. I don't like getting them into a point where they're stacked on top of one another because any sort of shipping or anything else can actually damage them, and I don't want them to be damaged. There you go. Put this next one in here just like that. And next in line, Jeremy. Jeremy for 6 coins. Here's Jeremy's first coin. Coin number 1 for Jeremy is a 1973 D Lincoln cent with no double die obverse. Nothing visible on the reverse, making it in any form or fashion special. And the next one comes tails up. It's a 73. Has to be a 73. It's got those giant initials, and it's the only year they came out with giant initials like that. There we go, 1973 Denver. Got no hub doubling, no repunch mint mark. Let's move on to the next one. That's going to come up tails up too. Tails up's going to show me that this is from the early 1960s. Yeah, this one's going to be a 60 to 63, maybe a 64. Ah, 68. Well, how wrong can I be? At least I knew it was in the 60s, right? It's just like those guys at the carnival when they want to guess your age. They give themselves 2 years ahead and 2 years back. Or when they guess what month you were born, they give themselves 2 months forward and 2 months back. They got to give themselves a little bit of a cushion. I need a cushion. This one came out tails up too. This is a 1972. 71 or 72. I do believe it's a 72. It is 1972 Denver. We need to find ourselves a double die or something. Got a nothing on it. And the next coin comes out tails up as well. It's another 72. This one's definitely a 1972. So let's check, see if we find anything at all in the reverse before we flip it over to look at the obverse. And it is 72 Denver. This one's got the re-engraved N. It's got the doubling on the E. It's definitely the master die. If you get a master die, you definitely don't have a double die. Just the way it happened to work out. Here's a 71D. They're not actually related to one another in any way or unrelated for any particular reason. Other than it just seemed that all of the double dies happened during a period of time they were using a regular master hub, regular master die, and they did not have the double master die. So there's 6 coins for Jeremy. So far what we've seen, a few RPMs, no real double dies, no errors of any kind specifically. We have seen that these coins all predate 1975. Here's Hawkeye for 6. And here's Hawkeye's first. 1959 Denver. That's got lamination in it. Another lamb peel up here. A lot of little spots of lamination all over this one. Let's look at the reverse and see what we come up with on the reverse. It's showing not a double die. This one's from the early 60s. Or mid to late 60s, I guess. Nothing going on that side. 1967 does have one nice double die reverse that I know of. It shows up here on the top of the letters in UNIT of United. I believe it's a class 2 double die. There's a 1970 plane. Nothing particular going on with this one on the obverse. Let's check the reverse real quick. Nothing there either. There's Hawkeye's fourth coin. This one's kind of dirty. I think I'm going to kill this when I move on. Unless it's a major double die reverse for some reason, and it's not. We're going to kill that when I move on. This is his fourth coin. 1972 plane. Well, this one had promise. It had a chance. That's machine doubling right there. Pretty nice machine doubling, but it's machine doubling. You can see how flat the appearance is as compared to a double die. The other thing is, the doubling actually takes up part of the profile of the lettering. So if you trace a line all the way around the outside of the lettering, you'll see that it's the same size as any other coin from that issue. That's coin number 4 out of 6. Here's number 5. Coin number 5 out of 6 is a 1971D. And nothing going on there. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick. And nothing there. So that's 5 out of 6. Here's number 6. Coin number 6 is going to be a 72D. All of the 1972D double dies are a little less dramatic than the 72 Philadelphia double dies, so you do have to look a little bit harder to find them. This one's got the re-engraved N, and it's got the doubling on the side of the E, and it's got the little die gouge in the S. This is going to be a master die doubling, so it's not going to have the double die, or any one of the double dies. So there's Hawkeye for 6. It looks like I got 5 coins left in here, which means I should have 9 coins left to do. I'm going to have to find myself another roll from this particular bag. Get another roll here. It's another roll from the same lot. Let's get our next name out. Looks like I need to open some more flips too. Next name is Majestic. Majestic's going to get 5 coins. Here's Majestic's first. It's a 1969D. I see nothing here. Are there people still in here? So I think everyone's left. Did everybody leave me, or are they just in awe of the coins as they pass under the scope? Ooh, shiny. That's what I would do. Be sitting there with drool coming out of my mouth, just staring at the screen, not saying anything. Wouldn't really have anything to say, just watching. I think that's probably where I'd be if I wasn't actually doing this. I'd just be sitting back watching it. Okay, we still got a lot of people here. Well, there, Coin Captain. It's your typical 73 reverse there with a large lettering. You can always tell now when you run into a 1973 Lincoln Cent reverse. That's going to be one takeaway from this particular lesson. You'll always know your 73 reverse. This one appears to be 71 or 72. It appears to have some gummy stuff on it with a little piece of hair stuck to it. Nice. We have DNA samples. This is 71, 71D. You drew normal, or you drool normally? Is it a noticeable drool, or is it something you just kind of suck up and forget? Because if it's really noticeable, then you'd have to be wearing like a lobster bib or something. See that FG? Almost gone. Almost gone. It's almost not there. That is caused by excessive dye polishing. On a 1970D there. That's 4 out of 5 for Majestic. Here's number 5 out of 5. Take a look here. And it looks like it's going to be a 1972. It's gonna be a 72, I do believe. There it is, 72 Denver. Still haven't popped a coin from after 1974 out of this entire roll lot. So these coins were packed in early 1974. And that's Majestic's 5th coin out of 5. Majestic. Okay, so what I was going to do at the end of this broadcast is offer additional of these rolls up for sale. And I'd like to limit them for the time being to 4 rolls per person, simply because I don't know how many people are going to want to buy any of these rolls so they can continue this treasure hunt at home. But I was kind of giving thought to the idea of selling these at $2 a roll and see where we go. Think we have any interest at $2 a roll with a limit of, I'd say, let's do a limit of 5 rolls. Does anybody want to get in on this? See you later, Steve. Okay, now we have a new, if anybody wants anything, just say so in here and I'll write it down, because I don't have anything particular to write this on. It's just a matter of, so Bulldog will take 3. Paul Hampton will take 5. Majestic will take 5. Eddie Jams will take 5. Oh, I've got plenty for everyone. Just make sure you get 5 rolls. If you want 5 rolls, that's as many as I can sell to any one person, I suppose. Okay, let's see who is next. We have but one name remaining. And the one name remaining is Jeff Dunn. Jeff Dunn gets 6 out of here. First one being a 1968 Denver. Yeah. And somebody tell me how much I told you for these. Was it $3, $2, or $3? No hub doubling on this one. So I'd just go back and rewatch the video because I can't remember what I said. I said 2. Okay. That works. Jeff Dunn's second coin is a 1968. And this one's kind of chewed up a little bit. So I tell you, if it's not got anything on it, I'm just going to chunk it to the side. Yeah, I'm just going to chunk this one to the side. This has got some machine doubling on the reverse, but that's about it. It's got some damage on the obverse, and I don't like the coin. So this will be Jeff Dunn's second coin. It's 1966. And take a look and see if there's any chance this could be the double die obverse. And no, it doesn't look like the double die obverse, but there is a major and scarce, very rare double die reverse. Let's see if we find that. And we don't. It's another chewed up coin. And we're going to throw this off to the side because it's thrown chewed up too. Let's see. Now a second coin, 1960 Denver. 1960D with no repunchment mark. Okay, Shree Ward will take 3 rolls. Coin Captain will take 2 rolls. Make sure you're registered with me so that I'll know your PayPal email address. Send that to coppercoinspayments@gmail.com. coppercoinspayments@gmail.com. If you're not already registered, you can get registered with me right now, and we can make this sale. Here's Jeff Dunn's third coin. It's a 72D. Interesting 72D. Let's see. No double die. No repunchment mark. Okay, Jeff Dunn's fourth coin. Coin number 4 for Jeff Dunn shows nothing and nothing. Coin number 5. 69. Nope, 72. Let's look at the obverse, trying to pick out the date. This one has the re-engraved N, so it's also got that little high top to the B. It's going to have the doubling on the left side of the E. That is the master die doubling. Master die doubling, you do not ever have double dies, or that I know of. There's no double dies that have the master doubling. And Jeff Dunn's final coin. Nice and shiny, 1972D. Trying to get all the chances here we can. I'm going to tell you what. We're running into a number of 1972, 72D Lincoln cents in this batch of rolls. I'm sure that there's plenty more where these came from. This was a sealed Fed Reserve bag. The bag is still sealed. I'm going to open it up, but the bag is still sealed. There's 6 coins for Jeff Dunn. And this Bag pull is officially over. Let me get Cherie. Cherie Ward with 3 rolls. Coin Captain with 2 rolls. Starbuck, I'm selling additional rolls out of the same lot that these rolls for the reveal came from, and we're selling them at $2 a roll. I'm selling additional rolls so you can continue your hunt at home. Cherie, you'll need to send your PayPal address to me so I can send you an invoice. And you can send that to me at coppercoinspayments@gmail.com. Just send an email. Let me know what your PayPal email address is. Let me open it up here real quick and see if I can see. You may already be registered with me. And if you are, I'll just use the one I've got. Hello, Silver Nitrate. Robert Adams. We found just a few wheat cents. We found a few minor RPMs. Haven't really found anything in the way of big double dies or anything like that. We did find 1 Canadian cent. That's about all. But we did find that these were wrapped in 1974. The 1974 Lincolns that are in here were nice and shiny, and it was the latest date in the entire group. Yeah, Cherie, I do not have your information, so you'll have to send it to me in order for me to be able to get you an invoice for these. But yeah, they're $2 per roll. So I'm doing $2 per roll for these. They're circulated rolls that came out of a bank sealed bag of rolls from the Federal Reserve of St. Louis, the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. And the rolls, oops, pop my desk there. The rolls look like this. Oh, this is what they are. They were wrapped by the Fed Reserve of St. Louis, and they were wrapped in 1974. So I've got Bulldog, who would like 3 rolls. Paul Hampton wants 5. Majestic wants 5. Eddie Jams wants 5. Cherie Ward wants 3. And Coin Captain wants 2. I have plenty. I'm limiting it. Limiting currently 5 per person. Max of 5 per person. Starbuck will take 4. Silver Nitrate will take 5. Okay. Adam Chambers will take 2. They're $2 a roll while they last. How many is this? 5, 10, 15, 25, 32, 34 rolls. I can probably sell another 10 to 15 rolls. Chuck Patillo will take 5. Okay. And that's what I've got for today. We're going to be coming back on in about 40 minutes, I do believe, for the second reveal for the day. We'll be doing a second reveal. It's going to be on a sealed bag, a lead sealed bag from the St. Louis Federal Reserve. Starbuck, do you ever figure out the ones I got from the rolls you opened in December? Can you send me an email on that? I'm going to make sure I answer you knowing what I'm talking about. Right now I don't. cd@coppercoins.com. Just send me a quick email on that. Okay. Well, folks, I am not meaning to eat and run, but I'm going to run and eat before I have to get on my next show. Next show is going to be at 3 o'clock. It's going to be the sealed Fed Reserve bag that was sealed in 1974. It's dated February of 1974. And so I will be back in about 40 minutes. I'll talk to you later, folks.